Alright, oh, what a relief. The sun's shining, it's not blowing a gale and it's not chucking it down with rain, which I am most grateful for, I've got to be honest with you. So anyway, time for a new video, and today we're going to address my new acquisition. I'll give you a quick explanation as to what and why, and we'll go from there. So, for the last 3 odd years, I've explained before, I've had my old Disco 2, and yeah, it's a reliable workhorse, to be honest with you. It's just bomb proof, it keeps going, and it's truly a chariot, but it's getting tired, and tired ain't good enough for us at the moment. We haven't got time to mess about with it, and it needs quite a lot of welding, a couple of calipers. Neither of the offside windows work anymore. The driver's door sometimes don't open. It's just, there's a list of stuff that it needs doing. And on top of that as well, it needs a clutch as well. Yeah, forgot about that. And it's a manual, and I don't know, I just fancied an auto. And so the old elephant in the room, man, that cropped up. Did I buy the cheapest L322? I don't know. Let's have a look. So it is L322 Range Rover 3 litre diesel, the M57 BMW version. I'll zoom out as usual. Look, there's my usual hand. But for the wheels, 19-inch Range Rover Sport wheels, it's pretty standard. And it tells lies as well. There's one too many letters on that. So yeah, it's a pretty standard old Range Rover, to be honest with you. It was a friend of a friend's. He parked it up 2 years ago. Just wasn't using it, was using his works van and everything else, and it just sat there. And it came to it, he wanted to get rid. And I was in the market for a diesel auto, good towing capacity, so I can move stuff around. So I snapped it up. What have I done to it? Right, when we got it, I'll show you a picture in a sec. It was minging. The suspension was all down on it. It didn't have a battery. There's bits and bobs, nothing major. You know, it was a good project. So I went and picked it up, borrowed the Disco 3, the one I'd done the trailing arms on the other day, put my trailer behind it, picked this up. And yeah, so I've done the battery, I've done some other little bits and bobs, new wipers on it, because the ones on there had completely disintegrated, so put them on. And gave it a bloody good clean. When I say bloody good clean, it's had 3 cleans so far to get it where it is. Then we found, yeah, when I loaded it actually, one of the brake pipes had split on the near side up underneath the sill. I think it's quite common. Where they sit in the clips, it just corroded, so new brake pipes down that side. And my partner in crime, my wife, got inside and gave it a bloody good clean and a hoover. That sound I'll explain later. Gave it a good clean and over, and you know, if you compare this to that Discovery, I'll show you that in a minute. If you compare the two, this is like, well, proper job. It's nice. I quite like it, to be honest with you, very much so. Yeah, just for sakes of comparison, my Discovery, I didn't use it. I had a little Vito I was using as a shop van, and so I parked this up for about 8 months, and it suffered. And I say it was rotten when we bought it. It was used on a pig farm, but it's like, yeah, you can see that's all stains on the headlining, which is about to fall down anyway. It's not bad, but you wouldn't want to take your kids out on it, would you? So yeah, having that, what I would call clean Range Rover, it's nice. So we go travelling around, picking up vehicles and buying things and selling things. So it's nice to have something a bit comfortable and hopefully workable. So we've got silly things like a bit of broken trim there. Now, I can make that work. I'll fix that, it's not a problem. The cup holder there, you only got and then you have to open it all the way up. and it's, yeah, you know, pain in the backside. I can live with that, but I can make it work. I can fix that, buy another one off eBay if needs be. Other little loose bits of trim, so up on that dash speaker, you just live with things like that. Yeah, I say yeah, quite a lot. It's a tidy old Rangey, really. It's got the wrong grill in it, but I'll live with that because it's a grill and it works. Wrong wheels, they work. So all I'm doing this time, I'm just going to do the ride level sensors on it because it has an issue with them. Like I said, it was on its knees when I picked it up, but I'll fire it up. It's got a problem with the external temperature sensor on it. It seems to think it's -8. That was last week. But other than that, no errors. I think that's going to be a constant, isn't it? Trying to keep that thing off. But yeah, no errors, and there she goes. Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to getting this all up together and going. As you see, 141,000 miles, so it's not ridiculous. And as I had that running, the Bluetooth kicked in on the radio and stopped the recording. Radio-wise, actually, it's got a cracking Kenwood system in it, all aftermarket, obviously. You lose a couple of features out of the car, but we can live with that. So that's coming out. That's going to be replaced. I've got an even better Pioneer system that I use. That'll go in place of that. And yeah, there's some stuff in the boot, so I won't show you in that, but somebody's put an aftermarket sub and amp in it, so it does have good sounds. Yeah, so that's the 322. You know what's wrong with it, you've seen what I've bought. I'll go 500 quid for it. Obviously it's got no MOT on it, and there's going to be problems because it's an old Range Rover. There ain't no such thing as that without problems. Doesn't come with the guard dogs. They're an optional extra. Anyway, today, let's have the fun of doing the height sensors on the ride level sensors on the air suspension. And the reason I'm doing them is because I've done the two on the passenger side, to be honest, just make sure they went all right. But as you can see, that one's snapped off. So I've cable tied it down, which gives it a false reading, but gives it a reading. But it wants replacing, and why not? Let's just get it done. So that there is your ride level sensor. Genuine Land Rover rust, seems to be a feature of mine. And that bolts there and there with two 8mm, and then it goes into the, well, that would connect to the lower arm with a 10mm, I think it is. I'll have a look when I get to it. And so you just undo them two, undo the bottom one, it all comes apart. Plug off, plug on the new one. You have to put the little bracket on the new one, I'll show you that in a sec. And then it's just reversed, just put it all back together. Let's go. Focus, nice one. So when it comes to taking the top bottom bolt out, focus for cramp, there you go. It's 10mm, as you can see, probably from there, look, 10mm. Then the inside part is kind of square. It's not proper nut size, but that also is 10mm spanner, so you have to put an open-ended on there. Focusing seems to be an issue today. There we are, look, put a bit of sun on it. Yeah, so that's 10mm. 10mm on the outside, 10mm on the inside, just done bolts. And it's complete reversal, putting it back together. That's the old sensor, which is broken. There's the new one to go on. When you get it, you can see there's clearly differences, and that being, you have to put that bracket on yourself. They supply that. There's the two little torque screws that hold it on. And then you stuff that back up on the holes in the chassis, and away you go. Chassis or subframe in this case. Let's get it on. And as quick as that. Ride level height sensor. Ride level height. Yeah. That is the new one installed. See how long it lasts? No idea, but for now, I'm sure it's better than the broken one. I'm going to kick myself for not looking into it, but what's the odds that's got something to do? So it looks like it fits up there somewhere. And what's the odds that's got something to do with the outside temperature sensor not working? So I'm going to tie it up and ignore it until I find out that that's what I've got to use. Never mind, let's carry on. A little while ago, oh, my hands are nice and red, aren't they? A little while ago, when I was doing that discovery, I said about swollen nuts. Never really explained it. Land Rovers are synonymous for it. They put these lovely little chrome nuts, wheel studs on, like so. But the problem is they get corrosion in between the cap, the little chrome cap, and the actual nut itself, which you can see it's swollen. When it gets like that, you then go and put your wheel nut on with a socket, and one-handedly, as you can see, it just ain't going to go on there. But once you get it on there by use of tap-in stick, the socket then sticks to that little chrome cap. So when you're trying to pull it off, it just pulls that. It won't come off. So at this point, then you need like a bench vise and all sorts to try and get the bleeding wheel nut back off. So 25 quid I think a set of these are on eBay, and they're going to be just as good a quality as these Land Rover ones. So I'll be changing them, because if this was a roadside with a puncture, I'm going to be kicking myself for not doing it, aren't I? But yeah, well done Land Rover, cracking idea. So with the back one off, yeah, wheel off. If you can't get that off, you probably shouldn't be trying to tackle this, but there we are. This one's a bit more fiddly, and you can just get the camera in a good place. Right, there's the ride level sensor. And on the front of it is two T25 screws that screw it into the holder. And that's that one out. And as you can see, the big difference is in the fitting at the bottom, which goes into the bottom arm. And the bush is completely gone, and the little rubber mount is split. Yeah, that one's on its way out as well, so I'm glad I've changed all four. Well, I will have done once I've refitted this, and then I'll plug it into the old diagnostics, see if it needs any calibration, but I think it's going to be good to go. Let's get on and do this before I get too sunburnt after yesterday, because that was epic. Let's do it. Might as well finish that bit off I'd done from earlier. Now I've taken all the rubbish out the boot that was someone else's stuff, and I didn't want to show it off, but inside this cabinet area here, we have this little side there, and in there you can see that's a little Phoenix Gold combined sub and amp. You just have to take my word for it, that's quite good. But yeah, this is it's not bad at all, is it? I think for 500 quid, you'd struggle. It's got the usual bit of rust on the tailgate, that's trademark rust, and it's been patched already down there. That ticking, I mentioned that earlier, the ticking comes from down there. What it is, there is a flap, an electronic motor on a flap which controls the heat flow to the heaters in the back, and they're renowned for going. Needless to say, that's gone, and it's not a big job to do. It's something I'll do because it's bloody annoying when you open the door and it sounds like a woodpecker going mental. Obviously there's a bit of outdoor wind to contend with for the second, but if I just lean in the window, that's in off-road mode at the moment. I lean in, put down to access height. As you can see, it goes down. It's a bit weird the way they do it, because it goes down bits at a time, back, then front and back. But it goes down, it makes it easy for getting in and out. And it selects ride height in the middle as you go along. So that I'm very happy with. I have to ignore the dog around the back, he's on his own, that one. Not entirely what he thinks he's doing. Anyway, I think we can call that one job done. And yeah, just do the other things now, and catch my phone as it blows away on the tripod and see what else I can find wrong. Yeah, you can kind of see the colour thing I was on about on that bulb. So when you get it on, it shows up all these different little colours around the outside, and I don't know, unnecessary. So I'm going to put a standard bulb in. You see the standard one, just plain clear glass, just to do its job. Let's get that stuck in. I've got to be honest as well, I'm just on that thing. If you want to change headlight bulb in it, it's like a 2-day job. You need a couple of people to help you. On this one, that little cap there sits over the back. So all you have to do is line it up so doing really well here, aren't I? That tab there sits at 6 o'clock. So you shove it in. Inside's a little spring clip. Push the spring clip over the top of the bulb and into the holder. Trying to work it out. There you go. Actually, I'd knocked the spring out the top there, which made it impossible. So yeah, the two terminals, they go vertical. The little tab goes at 6 o'clock. And then you just push that spring clip. The other side of that little clippy holder. Thing is, I can't see with my glasses on. Oh, that sounds dull, doesn't it? Like that. There you go. That's held in. On with the 2-pin plug. Like so. Put the wires in nice and tidy. Put the cover back on. Put my hands around everything to try and do this. There you go. Little feet go in the bottom. And the little feet go in the bottom. So probably using your phone for this, because every 5 seconds I'm getting notifications on the telling me about stuff. So I'm halfway through doing this and I'm looking at my phone because it's telling me something's going on. Anyway, that's the headlight cover on, and there's the bulb. I'm going to stick them on. Ignition on, lights on, main beam on. There we are, all the same colour, makes me happy. Check the front fogs while I'm at it, make sure they go. Did check them last week. Look at that, like an expensive Christmas tree. Job done. Okie dokie. Look at that sunshine, marvellous. I mentioned that? Yeah. Right, what have I done? I've gone and spent some more money. I have to keep ducking, that bloody hurts if you don't duck. Spent some more money and bought something I've wanted for ages, because I've had that 90 litre blast thing and used it to death, which took about 3 minutes. So we've been hanging on, trying to find what to get. And to be honest with you, unless you spend an absolute bloody fortune, like 700-800 quid, there's only one option. So we bought that, which is this. It's 220 litre shot blast cabinet. And it's, well, it's a vast improvement on what we've got. Zoom. And I got to be honest with you, we've just had a spin with it. Does a good job. So I'm quite chuffed. We've run it on iron ore silicate, so it's not like sand. You don't get shed loads of dust everywhere. It's pretty tidy, and it works really well, which I'll show you in a little video in a minute. That'll be Lisa doing the sandblasting, not me. And well, you can decide yourself, ask questions if you want to know anything about it. Yeah, say it's 220 litres. Our compressor runs it, which isn't surprising. And to date, well, we only just finished putting it together and had a quick blast on it. It's cleaned the hammer up nicely. Hang on a minute. Yeah. It's cleaned our hammer up nicely. I mean, this is like 20 years old. It has been absolutely hammered. And yeah, it's taken all the crap, paint, rust, old silicone wounds and everything else it's had. Cleaned it up. So, one of the things I've done with this, did I mention I got a Range Rover? 500 quid cheapie. Beat that. One of the things I've done is pop tow bar off, just for the moment. And we've got that in there, and Lisa's just sandblasted that. That's what I was on about. So I'll show you the video of that. I'll probably speed it up. Been using this today. I'll probably speed it up because it's 7 minutes it took to clean the entire tow bar and the coupling pin and everything else. So there we are, that's another video. See me doing stuff to that there. We've done a bit of sandblasting, we've done some bits and bobs. Oh yeah, height level sensors and stuff on there, and I don't know, other bits and bobs probably, don't know. Anyway, do us a favour and subscribe if you've watched this far, I'd much appreciate it. Nearly at 100 subs, which is a long way short of 1,000, but it's a good start, isn't it? And yeah, watch for the next one. That's in for an MOT in a couple of days time, so I'll let you know how that gets on. So some other bits we're going to do to it in the meantime, but see how that goes. But it's now 7:05, it's way past tea time and I've had enough. Gonna go home, stuff my face, edit this and post it up. Cheers.